Atletico against Inter.
Inter win 2-0.
Inter have been scary now, honestly. I've looked at Inter's recent games.
They've been crazy good.
Oh my fucking god!
They're better than they were last season.
If there's a team you didn't want to face as a runner-up when the Champions League draw happened, it had to be Inter, and it still is.
I think Inter last season, if the refereeing was any good, they would never have made that Champions League final.
I'm not gonna lie. I think this Inter side is better, though.
This Inter side wipes the floor with the Inter side from last season. They're looking very, very
They're not
good.
even good defensively, but they're good defensively and offensively.
They're a solid team overall.
It just shows that the transformation this team has had
And
since last
Atletico
season.
Madrid never win important games either.
Pause. Hold on. I gotta defend them here because they do win. They have won important games though.
What important game?
In history?
Yeah.
Barca
What, in the quarterfinals?
twice.
And they lost the final against Real Madrid.
They beat Bayern.
And they lost the final against Real Madrid.
They beat Chelsea.
They lost the final against Real
We
Madrid.
get the point that Chelsea. We get the point that Atletico's biggest fear is Real Madrid. True. Okay, we got that. But they do beat big. They do. Blah blah. Sorry. They do show up for important games, like Liverpool too, when they beat them.
And they got knocked out in the next game.
Yeah, that game really fucking pissed me off.
I don't think.
But they do show up. Hold up, they do show up for important games.
All right, yeah. You know what? They show up in one game, but then they won't show up in the next one. And if they're wearing white, they definitely won't show up.
Wait a minute. They did show up for this season against Real Madrid.
They drew 1-1.
And what about the other two?
They beat him in the Copa del Rey.
And
what?
La Liga.
La Liga? In the beginning of the season?
then they beat
Right,
them.
now they're fifth.
Huh?
Now they're fourth. Now they're fourth.
They've been fourth though.
They're always fourth.
They haven't showed up. They haven't been. Well, actually, they're always third.
Yeah, whenever they're always third because every other team in La Liga is pretty shit. But now Girona showed up, and that's why they're fourth.
Yeah, they're gonna get that spot eventually because after the game I saw from Girona, I've lost hope.
I already said that Girona were a myth. We're gonna smack them up 4-0 at home.
I was really pissed. I really had faith in them.
We're gonna smack them up at their stadium. Don't worry.
My dad said the exact same thing with Girona.
Last season, then last year when we played them at home, right? That's different. But at their home, we're gonna slap them up. Don't worry about it.
No.
Inter are gonna win 2-0. Lautaro Martinez is gonna
man.
get a double, and Atletico Madrid are gonna do what they always do.
But if
Lose.
Atletico want to come, do well in this game, what can they do though?
Pray.
Is it if they don't have Griezmann?
Pray.
If they do have Griezmann though,
Pray. If they were playing against any other team except for City and Real, they would probably win it because they have a good enough squad for it. But this Inter team,
would you even include
is
Inter
scary.
in that conversation too, or no?
Aside from Inter, they were playing
Okay.
Inter. Anyone aside from Inter, City, and Real Madrid,
Because that's their
Obviously.
biggest fear.
they would probably win at home, especially. But this Inter side is too good for them.
home and away too. Inter already pretty much secured the Serie A.
Pretty much, yeah.
It really looks that way. If Juve couldn't have beaten Napoli, not that Napoli sucks, but it's not just Napoli too. Let's be real.
Napoli haven't been great this season either.
It's games that Juve should have won, but they didn't. They didn't.
Mm-hmm.
And this Inter Milan side. Before we also move on, let's take a look real quick. This Inter side, 4-0 against Lecce. I think that's how you pronounce it. 4-0 against Atalanta.
Lecce.
2-1 Genoa. 1-0 Atletico. 4-0
Salernitana.
Thank you. 2-4 Roma. 1-0 Juve. 1-0 Fiorentina. 1-0 Inter. The point is, look, right there from those games I've just said.
They're killing
They've
it, man.
only gotten conceded by who? Roma? From what I just said?
And Genoa.
And Genoa. And yet they mopped the floor with all those other teams, as expected. They lived up to the expectations.
They're doing great. And I don't see Atletico Madrid beating them.
Is there a chance that they could choke this game at all?
Nope.
Not one?
Nope.
Atletico need every good player on their side.
They need all the
And
players.
should Morata start? Because that's the question that everyone had. Why did Morata not start?
Because Diego Simeone is a bitch.
Do you like Diego Simeone as a
No.
coach?
Why
you
is he
don't?
still there?
Huh?
Honestly, I have a whole thing about him. I think Atletico Madrid overall do not have a good squad, right? And the only coach that can get that team to play Champions League football every year is Diego Simeone. But Diego Simeone is also the only reason why that squad will never win any trophies for any prolonged period of time.
Now or
in general?
Before Simeone came to
they were an irrelevant team.
Huh?
They were an irrelevant team before Simeone. Now they're a team that's somewhat known and relevant. But that's only because of Simeone, but also the reason why they'll never win anything else is also because of Simeone. Tactically, he is not good enough of a coach to make that team play any better than they do.
Do you think that team has reached its peak?
I think that team, that squad, that's as good as they're going to get.